Welcome
back
to our This is a Queer Cinema Review podcast, Queer Films Revisited.
I am Candice.
I am Em, and we are going to dive a little bit deeper today into the filmmaking and production of
But I'm a Cheerleader.
But I'm a Cheerleader.
Amazing, epic film.
Jamie Babbitt.
Directed by Jamie Babbitt, and starring Clea Duvall and Natasha Lyonne and Melanie Linsky.
That was the main...
Not to mention many other people.
RuPaul
Charles. Yes.
Yes. So
Kathy Moriarty. Yes.
Thank you. So, but
she's not a raging bulldyke now.
Not anymore.
No. I mean, yeah, she does play that acoustic guitar pretty convincingly, right?
She does. But
anyways,
so
great film.
Yeah, let's just start right in. Where did the story originate?
So I believe Lore and Interview has it as Jamie Babbitt reading an article about a gay conversion camp, and her mother herself actually running a her like either a rehab or whatever. And so they're saying at her mom's her rehab was straight is great, because straight being like not on drugs.
Right. And where is that from?
Her mom's rehab.
Right. In relevance to
But I'm a Cheerleader, the saying on the conversion camp, like they all say straight is great. So she got the saying from her mom's.
Give the viewers, listeners at home who don't know what we're talking about.
Yes. So the saying for True Directions, which is the name of the camp in the movie, the motto is straight is great. And Jamie Babbitt got that from the facility or program that her mother ran.
Got it. And
which was for drugs and alcohol. Right.
And yeah. And so she thought, so you said she found this article about it?
That's what I have gathered, is that she read an article about it. I don't have any more further information beyond that, but yeah. And then mixed with what her experience was with seeing her mom, run her program.
At the rehab center, right? And so she wrote, Jamie Babbitt wrote and directed this.
I believe so, yes.
So it went to film festivals in 99.
Yes, it went to the Toronto International Film Festival in 99. The cool thing about this, though, is she was able to produce it because a short she submitted to Sundance, Sleeping Beauties, won. And so the money she got from that prize she used to produce But I'm a Cheerleader. And we spoke before in another podcast about the budget for Heavenly Creatures being small at $7 million.
Right. What was the
that
budget?
Was 94. This being filmed probably in 98. The budget was $1 million. So that's
impressive. That's impressive.
And we, when getting prepared for this, we watched the director's commentary for it, which was just released in 2020, and found out so much information on how
juicy
it was. And it's they spoke about how hands-on everything was. Like I
did appreciate that.
Yeah, if the fabric was cheaper and white, they got white and dyed it pink. You know what I mean? Like everything was, as I said, staple and glue gun. And I just think that was so awesome. They said the biggest part of their budget actually was the material for Kathy Moriarty's character, which is the lady who runs True Directions. I'm drawing a blank on her name right now. But so that's how it came. That's how it came about. And then then she started casting, and the lore of it is that Natasha Lyonne and Clea Duvall are, longtime friends, and Natasha Lyonne was getting into her car and saw the script for it and was thumbing through it and was like really intrigued by it. And
because Clea Duvall and Jamie Babbitt knew each other, right?
That's I don't know if they knew each other beyond the project, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Listening to the behind the scenes, it really sounded like they had some, if not actual history, then Jamie Babbitt really was keen on Clea Duvall. So for her to take a suggestion of an actor who she just kept saying wasn't right for the role, I would have to say that she had eyes for Clea.
But yeah, so Clea Duvall didn't think Natasha Lyonne apparently was like...
That's what I heard originally, and then the Zoom... The Zoom reunion we just watched, it was funny because Natasha was kind of saying that she doesn't really remember anything from it in particular, but when Clea was retelling it, it was like, Natasha saw the script, so I suggested her to Jamie, and Jamie said she wasn't right. I was like, oh, that's interesting how through time stories just get kind of shaved down to like, it's not necessary to say.
I don't think you'll
to
be
remind her friend who says
she doesn't remember, so why
be like, no, I told you it wasn't, you weren't good for it. So I think that was really
and then in that Jamie then took that and went on and said she was the one who said she didn't think she was going to be good.
Because I think it was probably both of them.
Right.
Yeah. She said when she met Natasha, she was in fishnet stockings and platform boots. And she said her like big Janis Joplin hair, and she's like, oh, this girl's not right for it. And then when you have to remember you're hiring actors who don't look like the parts they're about to play. So,
and I wonder if that's a by no means was she first time director or anything like that.
Right.
I wonder if it's things like kind of Natasha Lyonne reminding her of that, of like, it's not the person, like it's the talent in the person. Right. You know what I mean? Because Natasha Lyonne killed it. You know what my favorite is like she in the director's commentary, they worked so hard to have her, like remove her New York accent, and so there's just some lines that just like just stay rent free in my ear, like just kind of like right on top of that Rose from Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. It's like kill the Rangers. Just I don't know.
Her New York accent can't.
Yeah,
hide.
so exactly. So it just has this other weird, interesting kind of thing, and so it's like when she's still a cheerleader, or she's a cheerleader the entire time,
right?
But I guess I should say still within the social graces of her peers. And they're speaking of the game to come and what she's going to miss because they're going to ship her off to conversion camp.
Right.
And so, yeah, she's very excited and such an enthusiast, and she's like, kill the Rangers. And it doesn't sound like a New York accent.
Right. That doesn't
just makes me so happy. Like, it's not, just.
Those audio clips that are just really good. Yeah, I'm so glad that she took a chance on her because definitely it's one of those things of thinking about who she is in that movie. I'm almost like, what? She wasn't this like super sweet, simple girl. Like she already was Natasha Lyonne, like tough chick from New York. Like she's like, so wait, you gonna give me the role or what? And so then she did, and I'm so happy with it, and the connection between this movie and the last one is Melanie Linsky. That's how when we started
doing them, we were going through trilogies.
Yeah, it was really funny watching the review. We didn't even have a name for the review.
Right, I think you said
Clark's I was like, is it a Clark's movie review? Like I had No, I was just, and that makes me so excited to know, like, you don't have to be ready to start things. You just start them and it'll develop.
And I think that, you know, this movie is a testament to that, and that fact that the director's commentary was priceless. Like, hearing the team effort that went into this production. And I mean, like, just everyone was all hands on deck. And they even noted, like, now they're all on to much bigger, you know, funded projects and things like that, bigger size productions, to where there's entire different crews. There's your camera crew, there's your grip crew, there's all your different crews. And so you have a head for each department. Whereas there was one person in each department before. So it was like, you're all there at the meeting. It's not a game of telephone. So there's the ease of the bigger teams, but they even noted they appreciated.
I was going to say a lot of producers and movie makers will talk about the days when, you know, they didn't have all these permits to go through. They have the one permit that even Jamie Babbitt said, like, they ran over their time permit all the time.
That was my favorite, like, little bit. So they filmed True Directions, the site for filming for True Directions was in Palmdale, California. And they thought they were actually filming an adult film called But I'm A Cheerleader, BUTT. And so they were trying to get them to getting them shut down for that.
I forgot that.
I thought that was just amazing. How skeptical, like, that
small areas are like, we don't want your dirty film.
Yeah. Oh, but, like, speaking of also, like, kind of the bigger things, like, so, you know, she was able to do more risky things, like, in the sense of, like, I need to get this shot. I'm just going to back up, into the neighbor's yard.
Right.
Back up before anyone could actually arrive. Yeah. I'll be able to get the shot. You wouldn't do that now because the risk of everything and all this stuff, and it would just be like, okay, we'll get that, like, in a week or something, you know, when we have, like, permission. And it's just so interesting. Like, I think Issa Rae was even acknowledging, like, how when she got on Insecure, she was like,
I
just
want this shot right there.
And they're like, yeah, so we're gonna have to get this rig and all that. And it's like,
and insurance and like everything extra costs extra, takes an extra level of just precaution. And
it's really, I love hearing the bits of the first movies, because you hear what they did to make it happen. And then
it's fun. It reminds me very much of, like, high school theater, where it's just like, like they were talking about the room that all the girls sleep in at the conversion therapy. They said it was just the garage of the house that they literally found the perfect house, walked up to the house, or they put a note in the mailbox, asked if they could, you know, rent it out and to film there. And they said that they hired the guy who lived there, hired him and his son to, like, paint everything and do everything. So it was,
and they were living upstairs the entire time.
And then they lived upstairs the whole time. Their house got painted into, like, these solid monochromatic
the blue and pink and everything. Like, again, what was genius is, like, you don't have a lot of money, so, but the way they utilize, like, solid monochromatic, like, themes, like the blue, like baby blue on dark blue, like masculine, and then you had, like, the, like, pink and the lighter pink, and then, like, before that it was all brown, drab. Heterosexuality is just drab.
I wanted to note that she was talking about how before she figures out she's gay, what's the character's name in the movie? It'll come to me. Yes, I'll hear it.
I was like, Graham is Clea Duvall. I know that.
Right. Maybe that's the name I'm hearing in my head. But they were talking about in the director's cut about how before she was gay, everything was beige and brown. And so going back through and watching it and just, like, I love when movie makers are not just utilizing the storyline, but they're utilizing color and psychology. And
Like, literally, they scouted that school because of the brown lockers. Yeah. And it's like, because at that time, it was, late 90s. So
paint costs money. At the end of the day, it's not like, I just paint it. It's like,
yeah,
they have next to no money.
And I think it's all metal. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just brown metal. They don't make those so much anymore. So,
right.
like, knowing, and that's just the thoroughness of, like, low budget. We can scout and find a school with brown lockers versus having to ask the school if we can repaint all their lockers. You don't have the money for that. Let's find a school with brown lockers.
Genius.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, I really, listening to that really reminded me of what we've done. We haven't done anything more than just our own personal scouting, our own personal, like, foot to the pavement, like, actually looking for these things. And so to know that this movie made such an impact, it reached so far.
Yeah.
It is iconic as a queer film.
I was gonna say it was received rather poorly, like, through the critics. But I was looking at it clearer, not getting further than what my 2 cents are. I couldn't help but notice most of those critics were men. Yeah. And so
there was a lot of interesting things about this. Like, they wanted to, the rating people were trying to get it to be rated NC-17 because there's a scene of,
it's alluded sex.
Oh, it's her masturbating.
Well, right there. So what had to be removed completely was the masturbation, and I guess somebody said the line, "She ate out Graham."
Right.
And that had to be removed completely.
Right, because quote unquote, women can't masturbate in films, and we can't know about them having. And it's just the evident sexism in film of just like, boys can be American Pie. Come on,
Boogie Nights. Freaking Boogie Nights. It's a movie about a it's a movie about Boogie Nights. It's a movie about an adult film star.
Yeah.
And that one was released just fine. So
that'll do it. No, that's insane that it got its rating. They struggled with that. So
sorry. Actually, there was, I love my documentaries, and that documentary, this film is not yet rated. Jamie Babbitt's in it because she was so just irritated about the fact that, to her it was evidently, being judged in a different way,
right?
Because it was women. So I just thought that was really cool that having seen her in that documentary.
Right. Yeah, it's funny because I just looked down at my notes and I saw sex scene, Babbitt once more. And I was like, that's right.
Yeah.
In the scene where Graham and... Okay, the name will come to us. Where they're in the little doghouse outside hooking up. Like, first of all, she wanted, the director wanted them naked.
Yes.
And both of them were like, no.
Both of them were like, no.
They don't need to be naked.
No. They didn't. It would have been
so awkward. This is not that film.
Right. No, they're all coming from high school. So we don't need naked high schoolers.
Right. Even if that's what they're doing, we don't, as the audience, need to see that.
Right.
Right.
Like, they're not graduates. They're not of age. They're, I think it was very tasteful, and I'm really happy that the actors stood strong on that because, and then, yes, she apparently kept kind of like, come on, more. And, these two are friends.
That's what's so
they're
funny.
They're like friends. So
they're like, no.
and it kind of, like, there's the chemistry there because they're both good actors. Right. But I think, I think that's where the chemistry really lies on them both being like good actors, like, because and like close to each other. I think they like both gave each other that safe space. But I think the sex scene showed their acting. it was like, because Jamie's like more and more, and it's like when you look at it, you can see how like slow they're moving, and not like slow with passion, but slow with just
care.
Yes, exactly.
I really appreciate that scene because I feel like they're able to capture the youthful innocence of like two young girls like exploring each other.
Yes.
And just it's very innocent and beautiful, and it's not raunchy,
Right.
And it's like, I think she was trying to make the wrong movie, Jamie Babbitt.
Well, she also did Itty Bitty Titty Committee.
That's right.
So that is the age group that
we'll revisit that one soon.
We'll revisit that. Put a pin in that one, but just more meaning. So, yes, she had probably an edgier vision than what.
Isn't that funny?
I think it just made But I'm a Cheerleader perfect because it's. I mean, you're going with such like browns and pinks and blues. It really is relying on kind of like a benign innocence, so we don't need to have this like sudden like hot sex scene, you know. And it's like, whoa, oh, you know, like all the boys stuff, it's all just very explorative, so it felt right that the girls stuff felt more explorative than like, you know, unbridled passion where they were just like, you know, off with your night.
No, I completely agree. I think it has all the right raunchiness. Like, I'm just seeing the guys where they're like, the boys really get to express the goofiness that we are kind of looking for, because this is like, in reality, it's messed up. Like, conversion therapy is absolutely awful. And so the way they're able to make light of it, and just like the when they're all like watching RuPaul like work under the car, and
yes, RuPaul Charles did amazing, like
so good.
And another thing of like cheats, you know, finding out like at the intervention when he's there and his close-ups, like that was a whole different time, and he was the only
because they
one.
ran out of filming.
And I just was like, oh, I never caught that.
Right. And they actually said they filmed that scene inside the True Directions house. They just did it really tight.
Yes.
And so that's, I mean, I love film. It is truly called movie magic for a reason, because like, so as we were listening to the commentary, I was noticing while they were in the garage, I was like, you can actually see behind one of the curtained walls is the garage door.
And you pointed that out. I was like, oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah, because also, where would you get this like huge, gigantic bedroom for all these? So cool. I loved the designer. I think that's who was on the call as well. Yeah. Or the behind the scenes. Designer, she was talking about the fabric. Like, they made those bed sheets and stuff like that. They
made
everything.
Yes.
And she was saying, she's like, I still have some of that fabric, you know, with my spare, you know, when you sew, you end up with lots of extra fabric and stuff. So that makes me so happy, and just really, it's such a, it's nice to know that the environment that it was created in really came through. And I feel like when watching it, it feels that good.
Yes. All of it feels very collaborative. Like, you know, I'm somehow, and I mean, 'cause you know, I think that was some of the issues, as some people thought it was like making light, and it's like, well, yeah, it's a satire on it,
right?
But I don't feel like it didn't feel like it minimized things to me.
Correct. It's not like minimizing any sort of problem. I feel like it is actually it shows the awfulness of it, and you know, we get a happy ending, and so it's like,
I was going to say, unlike the movie, the jersey has not aged as well as the movie.
Yes, I am currently wearing Candice's high school. She was a pom squad. Is that what it was called?
No.
She was a cheerleader. She was a cheerleader.
Cheerleader, but not in high school. That was, you know. That was
This was freshman year.
Yes, like, you know, more support. Like I said, it was.
Got it. I'm giving you far more credit. But anyways, Candice, freshman year of high school was
That's just a jersey. Yes. No, but like.
Anyways,
yes.
I'm wearing Candice's jersey from high school. And so it's.
I was a cheerleader way younger.
So it's 30 years old. And so it's peeling on my pants right now. But she is wearing her Letterman jacket.
We're in theme for But I'm A Cheerleader.
So yeah, she's got her Letterman jacket on from the Evergreen State College.
Which is just from the gift store. Like, I feel like it's like, chap, chap, chap. I'm like, this is just from the gift store.
It's whatever you make it, but if you want to make it whatever it is, okay, fine, whatever. So.
But yes, I feel this movie, like, unlike that jersey, has aged.
It aged very well.
In my opinion.
Yeah. So let's get to our review of the review, or re-review. The review of our review. The re-review. So so our original thoughts on the film, it was just kind of, it felt like I was just very like, oh, I love it. It's cute. It's gay.
Which is still applicable.
Still right. But the updated feelings after rewatching it was how much more advanced it was than like really taking a risk, because a lot of people who I feel like a lot of people are afraid to make these kind of movies because it'll like ruin their career,
like actors or all around.
Both like we discussed how Melanie Lynskey got this role from Heavenly Creatures because she's not a lesbian, but she already played a queer character, and so Jamie Babbitt was happy to cast her as oh my god, I love her. I love Melanie Lynskey in this movie when she's first getting to the rehab and she's like walking her down and she's staring at her. I was like, oh.
Step one, admit you're lesbian. That was easy. Yeah, she was fantastic. So sorry, what was
Melanie Lynskey?
Oh, the review of the review. Right.
Yeah.
We did not, like, that was really interesting because we didn't even talk about how, so yes, this, girl, Natasha Lyonne's character is put through an intervention via her family and friends and put into a conversion camp where she happens to meet Graham, played by Clea Duvall, her love interest. They're in a conversion camp that is very much stressing male and female identities and binaries. And so, in that there's a bunch of role playing, but there's also, peer bonding, and through that, those two kind of love-hate develop something for each other. And
who?
Clea Duvall and Natasha Lyonne.
Oh yes, they're characters in the movie.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Who's that?
God, in the review, you're talking about Melanie Lynskey, and I'm like, who's that? And I was like, oh my God, how unaware was I? It was literally the second movie we watched in our review, and it was chosen because I'm pretty sure Melanie Lynskey. Or was it that we were watching it and it just so happened to have both people?
I believe we started with a Melanie Lynskey trilogy.
All right. Well, then I was just being a silly little goose.
Silly little goose we can be.
So, yeah, the original score, I think we both gave it 2 thumbs. So, it's probably 4 out of 4.
Yeah.
If I could give it more, I would.
And even more so now knowing even more. Like, it's like, it was everything, hearing the director's commentary was everything you would, like, had wanted it to be. When I say you, I mean me. Like, just, right. like everything that went into it, and the camaraderie and the fondness in which everyone remembers it. That was really nice to, like,
everyone
witness.
It's nice when it's one of those movies that all the people who helped create it are happy to reunite, are happy to discuss it. And 2020 brought everyone back together from the past of like, hey, if we did a movie together, let's do a Zoom meeting.
But yes, in 2020, that brought a lot of people together. So I think that's where the director's commentary was able to be re-released. And that was really dope to...
how lucky are we?
Right, to know even more information about this film. Because that was... I don't believe we were aware of it when we reviewed it.
No.
I wasn't.
I remember we reviewed it. And very soon after, I remember seeing all the stuff get posted and they were doing it. And it just wasn't... For whatever reason, I did not find it interesting to watch it. That's what I mean. It's like thinking about where I was when we saw it in 2020.
That wasn't the first time, though, right? That you'd seen it?
No, we had seen it once together, and then maybe I'd seen it a couple times. But it was... 2020, it felt like, you know, the first time we were sitting down to like observe it. And I don't feel like I appreciated it the way it deserved. Like I said, it's, I think after you going through film school, it really helped me see how much gets put into the making of a film. So at the time, it was just kind of like, goofy, plain. Why is this so low budget? Like... It was more just kind of just a very ignorant perspective on it. I don't think I had a negative, just more ignorance, not the word, than naive. I just had no idea what it takes emotionally and planning and prepping. And so I didn't have I liked it because it's a good, funny movie, not because I would have told someone this is a masterpiece.
I mean, when you think of $1 million budget in this movie, it suddenly to me becomes close to a masterpiece.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
like
because like cinematically, you're not going to be like or something, but then when you're like, they did this all for $1 million, and it's like, that is a testament that should be taught in schools. Like that,
you can make a movie.
Yes, you can make this
$1 million.
Yes, with this caliber of actors and everything, because I guarantee the vision was there. Yeah, and that's what you are able to secure a team with. If you have a strong vision. Then you're able to
get people on board. And
and I know also, speaking of another like couple co-producing, like her partner at the time, Andrea Sperling, I believe, they, you know, did this together. So they, you know, co-produced this together. So it also helps, like, having that, and then just a strong vision will get people on your project.
Right. What's funny is I have noted where she was talking about how I guess Lily Tomlin was auditioned, and I'm assuming for the
Kathy Moriarty's part.
Yes. And I guess she was offended in the script how they kept one of the boys in the doghouse.
Oh, yes.
And I just think that's so funny how, like, actors can be reading a script and there's just something where they're like, this is where I draw the line. No.
Right.
And I'm just like, that would have been a really interesting change.
I think it worked perfectly. Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. There was this, I don't know. I was like, just scrap. Anyways, there was just, I wish I knew the name of the film from my childhood, which Kathy Moriarty was in, and Soap Dish. That's what it was. And so that's like, she just always kind of had a like positive space, you know, in my like acting.
She's fantastic. She plays this dark headmistress lady
well. for the conversion camp, and what she started, and you know, and what we're able to believe that her husband and her son is evidently you know.
That's right. Jamie Babbitt was saying how that was kind of the idea behind that character, was that her husband probably left her for another man, so that's where this like bitter rage is coming from. just for some reason can't stop thinking about how they were talking about how they painted the grass.
Oh,
And,
right.
Like, so, but throughout filming, they couldn't afford to repaint it.
Right.
So they ended up, it's just like you can kind of just see the grass fade away.
Yes.
Discussing that for
Oh,
almost 5
well,
minutes.
I first saw it actually in theaters in, I guess, 2000, because that's how old I was and when it was released. And
you were 2,000 years old.
I was 20, and it was released that year. But it's funny because I saw it in Houston, and it didn't open to a lot of screens. So,
Right.
But in total, it was me and 2 friends, and I think maybe a couple other groups of 3 in the entire theater. So it was a very small audience, but I did get a pin, and that's pretty cool. 2468, do you really think she's straight? And no, I do not think she's straight, even though she is a cheerleader.
Yeah, because that's actually her on
Yeah.
the button.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, till this moment, did not know that. Always just thought it was a generic cheerleader that
Got it.
that they were like popping on there.
Yeah, no, I mean, and when watching it, honestly, it felt the same to me as watching Barbie. Like, watching this movie unfold on the big screen, like, this queer love story. Like, what? And just, excuse me, and these characters, and it was just so, like, beautifully flamboyant, I feel like. And, and just kind of like when Ken started, like, I'm just like, what is this magnificence? Like, so I felt very much that, like, watching that in theater, it was something that definitely left me with, like, goals and inspiration for sure. Yeah.
That's really awesome. I'm glad that you got to see a lot of these movies in the theater. I don't remember, like I said, I don't remember where I was when I first saw it particularly. So I'm just kind of associating it to that time of when we were watching it.
Because it is one of those ones, I think, that you can slip in there, and it's not necessarily going to be like when we were talking about another film, how it's so jarring. You're like, so you really remember seeing it because you remember being that kind of
Heavenly creatures.
Yes, that kind of and so that doesn't really have that necessarily if you're just like watching it in the background or something. So yeah, it's definitely something, like, being in the theater is a fully intentional thing, and so that was just a really great way to see it. But yeah, so I think that was for me, it was really really awesome to watch in theaters, so it really commanded my attention. So there was no part of it that wasn't just like, damn, I saw that,
Right. That makes sense. It was very popular. And
not so much, but like, what do you mean? Like, when it came out, it was not
not what I was meaning.
Oh.
I was saying, like, amongst my lifetime, it has been recorded.
Yeah, it's definitely gathered a cult following.
That's what I was saying.
Oh. Yeah. No, it's so interesting to me when things aren't received that way, like, at the beginning. Like,
right. Yeah, that happens with a lot of films. It makes me think of, like, Napoleon Dynamite. Like, these, like, smaller, obscure films come out, and kind of years can go by where it's really doesn't get a lot of attention, and then out of nowhere.
That one, yeah. I was like, for another independent film, that one did really luck out for I mean, God, I just remember the Vote for Pedro shirts. Like, they did a lot of smart viral marketing before things were known as viral.
Yeah. Still took a few years, though, is what I was saying about, like, those. It's like they come out and they'll just kind of hide for a while. And then the right people get their hands on it. So, it came out in 99, 2000. Yeah, was Queer as Folk already out at this time? I'm like, was there any sort of like queer representation anywhere that this could have been kind of like supported with, or?
You know, I don't believe Queer as Folk was out yet. If it was like its first season. So it may have been in its first season. But there wasn't, on TV so much, and really queer films, a lot of and I think this is the one thing I mentioned in the review too, is that a lot of lesbian films at that time had such like heavy subject matter and stuff like that, and to whereas there was, I feel like, more levity in the gay male films. Like there's films like Kiss Me Guido and things like that that were
around that time. Gay men could be funny and lighthearted, but lesbians were not that yet. Yeah,
it was, I felt like, much more like serious kind of things, and so this was just such a breath of fresh air, of like, look at that, like, see, they're not like having so many conversations and everything.
I wish I would have grabbed those comments beforehand. But let me grab those comments.
Grab those comments.
No, you don't need that. Okay, sweet. So we have one comment on our video. It is from our trusty Starfighter Reviews 699. He said, I've always seen scenes of this movie when I was a kid, but never really knew what it was until much later in my life. It's on my watch list, but I still haven't seen it. I'll be sure to watch it. Well,
I hope he has. I hope they have.
I really do too. Because that was 3 years ago.
That was 3.
But I love, that's what I really like that about that comment, is that basically it's saying like people will watch our reviews even if they don't know the movie.
Right. I think that's, I mean,
sometimes it still won't compel them to see it.
No, sometimes it won't. Sometimes the list can be long, in all fairness.
Our watch lists can be stacking up. And I mean, we have a lot of films to encourage people to go check out. So.
Yeah. And I was going to say too, if like want to add comments or anything to future films we're reviewing to be a part of the conversation.
Right. Yeah. Comment on these videos. We can talk about it again. Future stuff. But yeah, shockingly, this one didn't get a lot of comments.
No, and I think I again kind of almost like, I don't know if it has a lot of controversy to it. I feel it's one of those things whether you like it or you don't. You know what I mean?
And there's nothing else to be said about it.
Yeah, I don't think, and it's not anything bad. Like,
or like, so you've seen it or you haven't, because everyone who sees it loves it. So
I feel so.
Yeah.
The world may not, but
I think so.
Right. We are definite just more like, yes, so if we both think so, that says something.
I do. Not we don't speak for everybody, but it's pretty good. So
yeah, no, definite breath of fresh air to queer cinema, and I think it does not get nearly the credit it deserves for the thoughtfulness. And I mean, and you know, just furthermore of like the plot of just like, you know, we get to see the love story develop, you know, in the taboo place. And it's like, you know, that's really cool. And it's not filled with drama, you know. And so, you know, there's, you know, little but
lots of little comedy. Oh my gosh, yeah, I want to know in so there's a deleted scene that of what they're showing. Megan, that's her name.
Right.
Thank you. I was like, I'll hear it.
Yes.
Megan. Yeah. I was like, I'm hearing her say it. So she's showing Megan this film of like kind of what can happen if you become a lesbian. And it's a deleted scene, so you have to check it on like YouTube. But we were looking at it and we both we knew this person who's playing this like bull-dyke lesbian. Like, and she's like living in this like sad, lonely life in this kitchen, like had a cigarette hanging out in her mouth. Yeah. And basically, turns out it was filmed in JB Babbitt's kitchen. And that actress was played by the woman in Say Anything.
Yes, Ione Skye. Yes, that is correct. Yes, I was like, wait, who? Like, you know, and again, like, I love Say Anything, where she's, you know, the valedictorian. So
no, she's like that super sweet. That makes a lot of sense. So
she got with the Beastie Boy, and she's edgy.
That's funny. Okay, got it.
In a good way.
Yeah. No, we love Say Anything. It's what our
Anything Said Productions
production company was named after. We thought about Say Anything Productions, but there's already the band Say Anything and the movie Say Anything.
Yeah. And
so it's just kind of like, you know what?
Fine line.
Anything is said.
Yeah. A place where you can say anything.
Anything. And I think that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're saying anything about this stuff and, you know, opening the discussion about. I want more people to remember this movie. If they haven't seen it, go see it.
Yeah. I mean, it's so well done, so thoughtfully made. Everything is intentional. The backgrounds are literally, they're out in nature and put up fake backgrounds to show just the artificialness of the conversion camp. Like, it's very thoughtful, and that's where I don't think it gets the credit for that kind of stuff. So it's like, when you're watching it, that's not like they're in a warehouse with budget cuts. Like, they are out in a park, but they do
intentionally
those.
They wanted to make it look more fake.
Yeah.
Because they were saying that the woman who runs the camp, basically anything organic is gay. So everything is just really fake. Yes. Nothing is like natural.
Right. So she's like watering like pinwheels. Fake.
Yes. Like, so everything is just really and I think that's really funny. Anything organic and natural is gay.
I mean, Whole Foods, so it's not, you know.
It's she's not wrong.
She's not.
So what is our short review takeaway from the movie from before?
Right. So if you were to just say,
if you were to just run it by somebody real quick, giving them a completely accurate description, but a completely wrong way of doing it.
Essentially, it's about a girl who goes away to camp and doesn't really...
And she falls in love.
Oh, there you go. It's like, and she doesn't learn anything.
And she doesn't learn anything.
The camp.
Basically. It's a story about a girl who falls in love and gets like a vacation. She's so lucky.
Yeah.
Most of us have to go to school. So, oh my God. At the beginning scene where she's making out with her boyfriend.
Yes.
That scene just popped into my head where he is basically cleaning the inside of her mouth with his tongue.
Literally, he is making sure like her uvula is intact, and he is flicking it. He is like everything sound check. Yeah. Like, he is making sure the foundation of her mouth and jaw is there. Like,
so that she said that was first day of filming, and I'm like,
but I love it because that's also like what Jamie Babbitt then said, like, let her know the comedicness, because the way Natasha Lyonne looks in that scene of like,
so goofy,
kill me.
Yes.
Like, this is the worst, you know? And it's like, and I mean, and I love it because to a lesbian, that's what it's showing. That's what it shows. To a lesbian, that's what that feels like.
Right.
No, I'm like, it's like then if like they were to do a filter, you know, because like in the next scene, Michelle Williams is like, I love when they do it. It's like, no, she's a smart, educated woman. She wouldn't love that.
Right.
But she's showing what it feels like, you know? So this guy's tongue's in her mouth, and it's like, it may as well just be like, and it's not far off too. Guys can be fumbling set edge, but I think it's also expressing just like, that's how it feels when you don't want that. It's just,
and this film
everywhere.
This film is beautiful. I think it's a masterpiece, and I'm really glad we got to kind of go back over just
Very
the
much
behind the
so.
scenes stuff. There's a lot to it. It's worth the watch.
Exactly. This is definitely nice because we're more encouraging just a conversation about it, whereas our review, I know, is almost so holding back because it's such a movie I hold close to my heart. So it's that thing of like, I want everyone to see it. And you realize you're like, I didn't say anything about it though. Right. So it's been nice to be able to like revisit it because it being such a you know, near and dear movie. Yeah. I love it. Can't wait to watch it again. It's one that I will be watching again soon. Yes, definitely. You can find it for free. You can find it for free. YouTube with ads and lots of other places. So it's a very accessible movie. Yes. So is there anything else? No, I think this is wrapping up But I'm a Cheerleader, and the next one is The Intervention. The Intervention. Correct? Yeah. Another Melanie Linsky and Clea Duvall. Yeah. Duo. It was the first trilogy, last one in the trilogy, and so that will be next week on our podcast, Queer Films Revisited. Queer Films Revisited. We are so happy to be here, so thank you for listening, and yeah, check out our queer cinema reviews so you can be part of the conversation. Yep. I'll talk to you soon. All right. All right. Love you. Bye.